Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and I had a little interesting story come across my desk that someone had sent me on the Facebook fan page, and I thought I would check it out, and I read it. I thought it was really funny based upon this picture, which I'm just going to leave in the video. And apparently a group of police officers, I think it was in Pittsburgh, are protesting against being drug tested, and particularly one of the things they're testing for is anabolic steroids. Now, I do find that interesting for a number of reasons due to my own real life experience. I've had a lot of police officer friends over the years, and I do know the tendency inside law enforcement, particularly when it comes to things like SWAT teams, some street cops, and then even things like jailers and things who work in jails, to have quite a few of them have used anabolic steroids that I've met over the years. And interestingly enough, when I allegedly may have dealt in this stuff over a decade ago, I may have had 3 police officer friends who purchased some of these substances from me, and it worked really well in keeping me out of any sort of trouble. I give them really good deals, allegedly. Now, that being said, why is this a big deal? Well, a lot of people are worried about it because of the aggression factor and things with police shootings and everything, but there's not real truth to that. Very few anabolics, only a handful of things like trenbolone, halo test, and things like that actually really increase aggression or rage like people think of. A lot of them just increase confidence, not so much aggression in that regard. So that shouldn't really be a real concern. That's a myth. Only like something 5% of people who use anabolics see any sort of increased aggression from it, according to the data that's out there. So it's, again, another one of those silly demonization things, and it's being applied over the police force. The real issue for me is, of course, the drug testing itself and telling people that they don't own their own bodies. I am opposed to all drug testing. I'm personally opposed to drug testing of employees. I think it should be considered unconstitutional and illegal. I think drug testing athletes should be barred. That's just my personal opinion. And again, mind you, that's my opinion. Just because I have an opinion doesn't mean that my opinion means anything or that it's ever going to be law. But I do not believe in drug testing purely from a libertarian and freedom perspective. I think people should make educated choices on if they're going to put a substance into their body or not, and that needs to be the end of it. If they're not causing any harm to anyone, and until they become violent or aggressive or something on a substance, it's not the state or your bosses or anyone else's business what you should put into your body. And I think that's what the laws should honestly reflect. But again, just my opinion. So why are police officers using them if not for the aggression? Well, simply put, a lot of police officers have to deal with bigger, stronger males than themselves. Frequently, whether it's a jail guard or a regular street cop, they're far more likely, over 10 to 20 times more likely, to be engaged in some sort of grapple than they are to ever draw their weapon in the line of duty and actually fire a weapon. And accordingly, for many of them, they would much rather be stronger and be able to grapple or take a younger, faster, stronger male down without having to use a weapon if it's an option. And so for many of them, it reduces the possibility that they're going to need to actually use a weapon, whether it's a non-lethal weapon or a deadly weapon such as their firearm. It's going to dramatically reduce their chance that they're going to have to use it in a struggle of any type because they're stronger and they can get control of the situation without them. So because of that, because of the liability, the life liability, the criminal liability for them drawing their weapon, a lot of police officers are very tempted to use them irrespective of what their legal status is, purely to help them in physical struggles. So that's why they're common. That's why a lot of cops use them, and that's why they're here to stay in the police force in general. All right, guys, I just thought everyone would find this story interesting and my take on it, so I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.